It's your boy AncientAlbatross of Cypher Unlimited here again, and flying solo tonight with some Entropic Isle solo play. And if you haven't already, just a quick reminder, follow us here on Twitch and subscribe to us over on YouTube. It is a great help for our channel, and we really appreciate all the support we've gotten so far. But without further ado, let's just jump right on into this. I did see a question there, and thank you, Ketup, for answering that. The Entropic Isle is what if Merkborg, but Cypher System dead on, with a dash of Gods of the Fall thrown in there. That was also a huge inspiration. But yeah, we're here to play some solo play, just a quick one probably. If you were here last time, the oh man, I'm just laughing at you, Ketup. But yeah, if you were here last time, we played a solo run. I think we played maybe 40-ish minutes before my character died, horrifically. But we had a lot of preamble before that, talking about the book, answering questions, so on and so forth. I'm also open to answering. I'm also open to answering questions today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to fire them away. But yes, hello everyone. Hello, hi DM Tails. And yeah, so what we do here, or what I'm going to do tonight, is we're going to generate a character, but specifically the archetype will be Slugger Saint, which is my monkish type character. And once we get into the character, if you know it's really influenced or inspired by something, you will understand what you call it, what the reference is right away. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started on that. And then once we got our character going, we will go ahead and generate a story, or excuse me, a random seed for our adventure. I have an adventure generator at the back of the playtest materials here, and then we will use the handy dandy GM emulator, GM Apprentice. Actually, let me link all the tools I'm using, so everybody can take a gander, because all great stuff. And then also, you know, of course, we'll be using the Entropic Isle for playing. Yeah, so let's just dive right on, and let me grab my iPad. And yes, thank you everyone for stopping by and tolerating that extreme mess of an opening. Oh my god, I'm a mess. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive right on in. So as you can see here, I have converted my playtest materials to a strictly text format. I'm gonna have to go through it and probably get rid of some of these fancier tables I've put in, because they don't display fully properly. So I'm gonna just break them down even further, like this guy here, where we're just gonna break that down even further. But either way, let's go ahead and find Slugger Saint so we can see what that guy does. The beginning of character creation, by the way, just so we can do things in order, is we roll for an archetype, or we choose. You know, it's up to you. So I'm not going to come to your house, knock down your door, tell you how to do it. But today we are choosing Slugger Saint, just because I wrote it last night in like an hour, and I had a blast writing it, and I think it's going to be a blast to play. And I'm probably going to have to nerf him, quite honestly, or tweak how he works, but you guys will see when we get there in a moment. So let's go ahead and refine Slugger Saint. There we go. I'm gonna read the little blurb. Oh, I'm gonna need some water. Oh, flying solo is rough, man. So the Slugger Saint, protectors of the old way. Slugger Saints congregate in secret underground temples dedicated to the dead gods, where they maintain knowledge of the old way, ways of the divine from before the fall. Founders of the old way were trained directly by angels and fought tooth and nail to ensure their teachings were passed down from generation to generation. Even after the fall, Slugger Saints were still able to tap into the divine energy lingering in the ether. Damn, I almost read the whole thing without flubbing. Fuck. But yeah, if you were here last time, you see the starting stats here are a little different. For the other archetypes, I have it as 6, 6, and 9 for your strong stats, so to speak, quote unquote. But I wanted Slugger Saint to feel more versatile. So they get, instead of 6, 6, 9, they get 6, 6, 6, and then 9 points to distribute how they choose. A real versatile bunch these guys are. But yeah, they start with divine training, which is just like magic training, but for the divine, and thank you for the follow. You are trained in the basics of divine, including the use of divine artifacts and ciphers, and can attempt to understand and identify its properties. Enabler. You have eyes of the divine. You can see in total darkness as if it were dim light. Enabler. I guess I need to add a little bit of fluff here. My editor. Oh, and thank you I didn't give you the props at the beginning, Ketup. Thank you so much for going with that editing pass with me. Going through that editing pass with me. It was a huge help, and you are the man. Ketup, link your stuff if you're here still. Everyone should go look at Ketup stuff. They are amazing. They have a Void Home book out or coming out. Gritty survival horror space stuff. I'm butchering what it is, but it's amazing. Amazing artist, amazing layout, amazing guy. Yeah, check his stuff out. But yeah, I need to add some fluff. But yeah, basically your eyes crackle with divine energy and it lets you see in the dark. You are trained in speed defense. You have an inability in all social interactions due to being like a hermit or whatever have you. And your unarmed attacks deal 6 damage, are considered light weapons, and you suffer no consequences for dual wielding when holding no weapons. Essentially, they're the monk guys. Their fists are brutal, and they can swing them about without any penalties. If you were here last time, I'll explain it again. Part of the general rule changes I have for the Entropic Isle versus Cypher system is anybody can dual wield, and the only consequence is your offhand attack is hindered, and then your speed attacks are hindered as well on your next turn. Like, should you decide to stop dual wielding, the consequence on you're gonna, either way. I feel like a copy of a dot matrix printer. This one you could. That feels like a cool copy to have. But again, I made this version completely plain text for 2 reasons. Ease of use, I guess. I really like, or I personally think they're pretty easy to use. Just Control F, you can find all the things you need. I'm definitely going to add like a thing at the end here. I haven't added it yet. A thing of key terms, like a glossary, I guess, and it'll let you know what to actually Control F for or whatever. Or maybe just a dictionary, so to speak, in the back. Whatever, I'll figure it out. But yeah. Let's scroll down here. So, and again, with the archetypes, they always have a regular ability and then a ultimate ability. I'm changing it up again here for the Slugger Saint just to show how we could be versatile with how we do the archetypes, right? This one's very different from the other ones. And again, if you know my inspiration for this, you'll know right away what it is. But their ultimate ability, and that's all they have, is their ultimate ability, is Divine Stance Switch. Slugger Saints are masters of multiple styles of divine imbued martial arts. These divine techniques were imparted upon them by the founders of the old way. Were imparted upon the founders of the old way by angels themselves, and their fighting stances were inspired by them. Using their divine energy, they can switch rapidly between these stances. Each stance has its own strengths, allowing Slugger Saints to adjust to any situation at hand. When switching stances, divine energy bursts forth as they settle into their new stance. Once settled, I need to reword this one as the word stance happens too much. My husband actually pointed it out. Once settled, their stance gives them a persistent buff. They remain in this stance until they switch again. When switching stances, like all ultimate abilities, roll a d20 after deciding which stance you are switching to. That way you know you're in the movement, you're going to use that ability or whatever, right? On a 20, the stance you are switching to becomes an enabler and costs 0 points to initiate, meaning you're switching to it faster, it's not a strain on your body, and yeah, makes it cooler. And yeah, let's go. He has 4 stances. I really need to rename them. They are pretty whack named right now, I will say that. Divine Protection, and they all cost 3 points. I think that's a very solid starting point because you don't start with many points to begin with, and you'll be switching a lot. And yeah, this will you'll definitely have to think about switching stances as a starting character because they will drain your pools quite quickly. But yeah, Divine Protection, 3 points. As you switch into this stance, divine energy surrounds you, tightly forming to your skin. Your skin glows a dim yellow, and you gain +5 armor for the next 3 rounds. Yeah, I probably could word the next 3 rounds better, but whatever. While this stance remains active, your successful unarmed attacks heal 2 points of your choice, and you cannot dual wield. Action to initiate. This essentially just is meant to say you're attacking slower because you're taking a defensive stance, you got more armor, and you can attempt to heal yourself by landing attacks. Yeah, Might also make your attacks do 4 damage. Again, I gotta play with this. This is literally, I wrote this last night, and I sat down for an hour and just fucking jammed it out. Second stance, Hammer of Justice, 3 points. The Hammer of Justice is swift. As you switch into this stance, you gain a burst of speed. You may move a short distance and take an action without rolling. I guess I just need to add that in parentheses or whatever. Oh, you just do it. While this stance remains active, you channel divine energy into your unarmed attacks. Your successful unarmed attacks daze your target, hindering their defense task until the end of their next turn. Action to initiate. Again, action to initiate just means you start it, there's that beginning effect, that burst effect, and then that persistent effect. Divine Speed, 3 points. When you switch into the stance, divine energy quickly swirls through your veins, making your unarmed attacks so fast they are hard to see. In the blink of an eye, you strike your target 3 times and your next unarmed attack deals 12 damage. It is still a single attack. While the stance remains active, your unarmed attacks deal 4 damage and you gain 2 actions per round as long as both actions are to use unarmed attacks. So yeah, it basically makes you a punching madhouse. Yeah, but you do a little less damage, but yeah, I think it's fun. You're just attacking super fast. And the last one, Flaming Angel Wings, 3 points. As you switch to the stance, divine flames explode from your back in the shape of angel wings. As the wings unfurl, they engulf everything in short range in front of you, dealing 8 divine damage. While this stance remains active, divine flames spew forth from your unarmed strikes. If the roll for your unarmed attack task is an even number, divine flames burst forth from your strike, burning any other targets within immediate range for the same damage. This area damage only hits the other targets if the initial attack task would have been successful against them too. Yeah, and that is the Slugger Saint. I am not adding that to any character sheet. I'm just going to keep this part open when we go to play, because there's a lot. I probably do need to pare this down, maybe only make it 3 stances, but bonus points to anybody who knows what this is without me telling them. It should be super obvious if you know the source material. But either way, that is our archetype. Moving down, we go down to our descriptors. We roll this randomly. We got a positive descriptor, negative descriptor. Where is my dice are right here. What am I doing? I forgot I'm using Slugger Saint. You could think, I believe they're here. Zeus Legion for that name. Zeus Legion 100% came up with it. I'm going to credit them in the book some way, just probably in the back somewhere. Anybody who helped contribute to the book is definitely going to get a shout out, just in some way or another. But yeah, Zeus Legion 100% came up with that name. There was actually like a bunch of people trying to come up with mug names on the server when I mentioned now I need to come up with a name. But I really loved the I would say encapsulate everything, because I wanted it to be a divine thingy too. So like that was just absolutely perfect. So yeah, let's roll our descriptors. I don't know if you guys can see that roll, but that is a 10. Sorry for my poor camera. I need to get a better one if I'm going to continue using physical dice for my things. But let's write that down. We are diligent. Pretty good for a Slugger Saint. Oh, why is it black text? We are diligent. And sorry for the quick note little area. I'm just using my iPad here. I just find it easier or more fun to use it. I get to draw stuff and whatnot. We'll worry about our stats once we decide everything else. Let's find out what our negative descriptor is. 20. Impatient. I'm diligent and impatient. I wonder what makes me impatient. That's something we'll definitely decide during play. Alright, what's next? A bad habit. There we go. 14. That's a good one. I don't suffer fools. That is actually a great one. Anybody I can goof me around me, I don't have time for that. I don't have patience for that. I don't trust anyone. I can only rely on myself. But I'm enough because I'm full of divine, and I have the energy of the gods on my side. I don't need anything else. I don't need anyone else. Doesn't trust anyone. And just for a little bit of flavoring, wait, did I not include this? Oh, yeah. So when you go to like each part of the character creation, like there's the intro, and then at the beginning of the archetype it says, so what is going through all that, or damn, I actually forget how it is. But either way, the beginning of each of these things that we're randomly rolling, I have like a little bit of flavor to them. Like when we get down to the descriptors, it says going through all that. There we go. How did it affect you? Roll each table. And then next one, in your travels, you've discovered your strengths and weaknesses. And then we roll twice to see what skill we are trained at and what skill we have an inability at. And yeah, I remember we'll add the Slugger Saint stuff onto here in a bit, but let's find out what we are randomly here. So we are trained, and again, you can pick these things if you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to come to your house and stop you. I can't see what that is. 11. We are trained at navigation. I really did like that little tag. Like I think I was using Notion last time to keep track of this stuff. That was pretty convenient. I probably should have done that this time. But I'm using my iPad, damn it, I charged it. And 7 for the inability. Deception. That's a good one. So, inability. And you can't thank your survival thus far solely on yourself. There are a few things that helped you greatly along the way. Roll a d20 twice on the table below, and you start with 2 of these items, and then you'll re-roll if you get the same thing. You don't want the same thing, right? So you re-roll that. Or don't. I'm not going to come to your house and stop you. 12. So we start with a durable poncho. Good for bad weather. Because you never know what the weather's going to be like on the Entropic Isle. Not that I have tables for weather, but this is solo play. Anything can happen. And 20 for the other one. Jeweled Skull Goblet. Oh, that's probably just a very expensive cup. I'm just going to put skull. Actually, no, the jeweled is necessary. That's like the fancy part. That's right. Jeweled Goblet. Skull. I wrote that the worst possible way. Please don't mind my handwriting. Yeah, and then I got some notes here about what the things do or what they are. And we start with a random weapon. But since we're these Slugger Saints, have a good night, DM Tails. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. And hopefully I'm looking forward to talking to you about this too. I didn't forget. What'd you call it? So, Slugger Saint, I guess I should add a thing at the beginning there. They actually don't start with, I feel like they wouldn't start with any items, period. Like, monks are usually like, I feel like it needs a little bit more of a downside to it. So you wouldn't start with any items, you wouldn't start with any weapons, but that's not a downside because you have your fists. But again, you wouldn't start with any wealth, nothing extra. Because again, monks are usually like, possession free, like no worldly attachment, so on and so forth. I think I am gonna add that just to make them kind of a little more unique as well. I think we'll do that. So I'm not starting with any items, but normally you would start with a random weapon. You just roll out what it is, and then you get creative to figure out what it is. And all ranged weapons deplete on a 1, 2, 3 on an attack roll. Yeah, just something that is standard across the rules here in the Entropic Isle. Then you would roll your wealth, but we're skipping that because we are monks who don't need any worldly possessions. Excuse me, Slugger Saints. And I had the little thing, this item's not definitive, just use it as a guideline, but I did. Oh shit! I don't think I added the expensive stuff in later. Get up! I told him I was gonna do it before the stream, but I didn't. Well, good thing it doesn't matter because we are Slugger Saints. But sooner or later, chaos magic finds you. What has fate gifted you with? And we roll d66 here, which is 2 d6s in order. And yeah, we figure out what our starting ability is here. Chaos magic has found us. I did not grab a second d6. I'm a clown. So we got 2. And we got 3. Did I roll that last time? No, Daydream, I didn't. Daydream. You pull someone into a daydream, substituting a dream of your own creation for the target's reality for up to 1 minute. You can affect the target within long range that you can see, or a target within 10 miles that you have hair or skin clippings from. To all outward appearances, an affected target stands or lies unmoving, but inside, the substitute reality or dream within a dream, if the target was sleeping, is what the target experiences. The target is under duress and it can attempt another intellect defense roll each round to break free, though the target may not realize its state. Either the dream unfolds according to a script you prepared when you use this ability, or if you use your own actions forcing you into a similar state as a target, you can direct the unfolding dream from round to round. Using this ability on a sleeping target eases the initial attack. What the hell? Why did I... This is an intense ability. What? I must have thought it was interesting at some point. That is very intense. What the heck? That's actually really good for solo play, though, actually. It feels a little weird in a group setting. I guess not if you're not going to enter the dream. But really interesting for solo play. Maybe that's why I kept it in. I've been digging solo play so much. Might replace that one, though, quite honestly. But Daydream's 4 points. We know what it does. I'm not writing all that down. Holy crap. So basically, I can trick someone into a false reality for a minute. What is it? Was it a minute? And they're stuck in that reality, and they think it's real. Unless it's like in combat, then they can roll each round to break free. Yeah, it was easy enough to remember. That's actually super cool for a solo play. But another thing, I'm gonna have a advice from the author or whatever section. Something that's pretty important to understand with not super important to understand, but with this list of chaos magic, and then again the learned magic later on, the spell casting magic. You can create your own list for this. Like, I just picked the ones I thought were cool. I really like these ones. I want to see them in play. I even made some ciphers into chaos magic abilities that I really liked. Yeah, so once you get your hands on this, feel free to do it up, make up your own list. Yeah, it's definitely cater to what you and your table would find fun. These are just the ones I really enjoyed and I think add to play. I guess I wasn't thinking too hard when I picked Daydream because I feel like that's going to slow down group play, but for solo play, that's a pretty cool ability. So yeah, that's the end of character creation. Now go forth, stake your claim, change the world, stop the chaos god, or don't. In the end, it does not matter. Because again, the world's gonna end anyway. So how are you gonna stop the end of the world? Who are you? Anyway, let's go back to the stats here. Whatever. I don't actually have to go back. What are we? We have an inability at deception. We have an inability at all social interaction. Let me just write it. All social inability. So it might be prudent to have just a little bit of extra int to make up for that. Not int edge, though. I feel like we would use probably speed. Yeah. Oh, we're trained at speed defense. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. So we are 666. We're gonna add of our 9. We're gonna add 5 to our speed, making that 11. We're gonna add, that gives us 4 left. There's that 2 to the other ones, so that gives us 8 might and what is it? 8 intellect. Hopefully I did my math correctly. Seems right. And then for edge, we will give our edge to speed. We'll just add a little 1 here, just to show that it has edge. Yeah. They do. That is a great point. Yes, just like in most Cypher rules, they do stack. They would stack. So in the event, again, deception would be a social interaction task. So when this guy goes to try to lie to somebody, it's going to be at a detriment. Detriments are, again, if you have been looking at this stuff, the rules changes and whatnot, inabilities can stack in the Entropic Isle, just like trainings can stack and give you specialize. So yeah, our guy is a horrible liar. That is a great, thank you for pointing that out, because I 100% would have not realized. Good eye, good eye. You got an XP. Oh, I also didn't make one of these tables for the Slugger Saint yet. Shit. Damn, I really rushed. I really wanted to just make the abilities. We'll just write one for ourselves. Or maybe we'll use the GM emulator to give us a little something for a background for ourselves. Where do I have the GM emulator tab? Here, we'll use the event generator. Roll 3 times because that's my specialty. Ambiguous event, carelessness, nature. Our guy, something happened at his temple that forced him, the carelessness of someone, possibly us. Maybe I told a really horrible lie, but due to that, there was some ambiguous like faux pas that happened, and they had to send me away to nature to find myself again. They didn't it's ambiguous because it was very like, I don't want to talk about it. Or we should name our guy. Our guy's name, does it thing give names too? We'll just go with an NPC name. Trivin. I don't know if it's a surname, but Trivin. I like that name. Trivin's our name. Is it Trivin? Yeah, Trivin. I like that. So yeah, Trivin was exiled, essentially. Not exiled, but he was sent away due to some kind of faux pas that he committed in the temple, due to his carelessness, and they sent him to nature, to reconnect with the gods, so to speak, and find himself. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good backstory. We'll just remember that. I don't want to write all that down. But I freaking love this GM emulator, by the way. If you haven't looked at this website, go do that. It is stellar. I'm gonna link it one more time for anyone who missed it earlier. Yeah, very, very good. And the solitary defilement thing, I don't think I'll ever have a chance to pull it up or anything. But if we ever enter a dungeon, the dungeon crawling rules present in that, what is it? It is a Merkborg third-party supplement. Those dungeon crawling rules are excellent for solo play. It has a bunch of tables in it too. But I really like how they handled how you generate the dungeon as you go. So if we do enter a dungeon, we will do it that way. Because I love it. Except we cipher it instead of using the DRs from Merkborg. We use the You're killing it tonight. Wait, Taff K, have you been here before? I feel like that's a new name. That's welcome. You're killing it tonight. That's amazing. Okay. I think character's done. Let me pull up the Slugger Saint again on our little app. Oh no, we need to generate our adventure all the way to the bottom. And then we'll be good to go to start talking with our GM emulator and figuring out where the story is and what's happening, blah blah blah. Let's slam this here soda down. Alright, so D12. Where are we? Where is this adventure happening? Where are we going? Where does it start? We'll figure it out. Hey, Dean, what up? Is this D12? Yeah, it's a D12. That is a 9. Sorry again for my poor quality. When we get some of that Cypher, what is it, money? Cypher Stream Creator Fund money. I'm going to try to see if I can maybe get a affordable camera that'll like do that. Because I love rolling real dice. I'm enjoying solo play a lot. And I kind of want to make it a regular thing. So it'd be nice if we could see what the fuck the dice say on the stream here. You can kind of see it, but not too. I tried so long. And that was the best I could get it to look. But either way, We got a 9, and that is just outside the ice walls of Galshir. Galshir. I should figure out how it's pronounced because I wrote it. But Galshir is how I've been saying it in my head. But I'll just write. Oh shit. We are. Let's write a little section here for story stuff. We are just outside. And I'll go back into the book here and read the bit about Galshir. But Galshir is just what you call it, it is the city under the frozen protected city underneath the Skyceberg. Skyceberg being a frozen pyramid that floats in the sky above again Galshir and the frozen forest there. And yeah, Galshir sits underneath. It has these giant ice walls that protect it, and they are pretty wary, or outsiders better have a good reason for trying to visit Galshir. They're very closed off. But who? I said that like an owl. What the fuck? 15. Counterfeit scroll forger. That's cool. I'm just gonna write maker to save space. I guess they're about the same anyway. Whatever. Counterfeit scroll forger. Yep. Oh, I love DM Tails' thing up here. You know, I'm gonna leave it because he's a cool guy. I'm not even gonna go into the bot to change it. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I know he's not here anymore, but check out DM Tails' stuff. I'm so bad about turning off bot commands. And then the last one's what, which is the 100, which tells us the main conflict or what's going to start this adventure or what we're leading to or whatever. We'll figure that out as we figure out what it is. To roll a D100, you just roll 2 D10s, which I got here. We got 7 and 0, so that's 70. 70. The land cracks, revealing a subterranean labyrinth. The dice have spoken. I guess we're dungeon crawling. I guess we're crawling in a dungeon. I don't want to write all that though. I'm just gonna write underground labyrinth. But that's cool. Oh, man, this is gonna be fun. Where is it? I don't know how to spell labyrinth off the top of my... Underground labyrinth. There we go. I'm butchering it. Y'all just deal with it, sorry. So, we're just outside Galshir. Maybe I'll change it, like, maybe just make it Gale. Gale. But I guess Galshir. I'm getting caught up. Just outside Galshir, counterfeit scroll maker and an underground labyrinth, which is, again, the land cracks, revealing an underground labyrinth. What was that? What is it? Subterranean, whatever. Fancy word for underground. So, to start our story, Trivin, where would he be near? I guess we'll just be near, just outside Galshir. He could be from there, maybe. Just a way to put it at Galshir. Or maybe the ground cracked near. Oh, that's cooler. That's cooler. So we'll just say we'll start in... Wait, actually, didn't I have a... I had made it on another sheet somewhere. Like, my personal solo notes. I had a little list of, like, where do you start? But we'll just start in Gathrol, which is the main city. Like, the main hub. I'm not going to scroll through the book. I wanted to kind of talk about the lore of the area, but TLDRs are good enough. We're starting in the main hub. It is where they built the, 1,000 years ago when the fall happened, heavens fell to the earth. The Chaos God built a tower so that mortals could view the end of the world scriptures he had erected, kind of in a cocky manner. He was like, just go watch it, go look at it. This is how I'm doing it. Just take a look. But either way, that is the main reason Gathrol was built there, around it. The watchtowers in the center of the town, our city, and yeah, each of the major provinces or regions has a representative on the council at Gatherall. Gelshir being one of them, they probably have a representative on the council as well. Yeah, so we're there. We're in Gatherall somewhere, and we're meeting with this counterfeit scroll maker. They're telling us that they heard, or excuse me, not heard, they just got back from a fissure just outside of Gelshir, where he couldn't believe his eyes. There was it looked like a maze of some kind, like weird bricks or something like that in the ground, like maybe 20 feet underground. He couldn't believe his eyes. And this was maybe a week ago this happened. And he tells us that he's heard rumors from his other black market pals. There's actually a well of magical divine ink in this labyrinth. We can even say this labyrinth was a divine ruin. That's actually perfect, I actually should say subterranean divine ruin. That's probably, I wrote this before I added divine ruins to the book. So yeah, this is a divine ruin that has this rumored to have magical ink that he could use, then in turn use to make his scrolls. I think we set up a pretty good story right there. But yeah, we will have to travel to Gelshir. He tells us we will have to travel to Gelshir. It's dangerous. It's gonna be dangerous. He hasn't heard of anyone making it far into the dungeon or into the ruins. And of course, it's just outside Gelshir, the most like recluse, secluded place, where ice golems and Gelshirian safety scouts patrolled the chilled barrens, checking for interlopers and people who don't belong. So it's definitely gonna be treacherous going over there. What is he offering us? I mean, I guess we could just say he has what you call it for us. I mean, usually again, we playing solo is like being the GM also, and you just do kind of what's reasonable. I feel like he would probably offer a really fancy artifact for us if we successfully do this. That's just a pretty good reward for going out on a whole ass like session of a mission. And actually we just added artifacts, at least a few. So let's go take a look. And I forgot that we're actually supposed to be talking about cursed artifacts, which I guess I'll talk about now. Maybe we'll find a cursed artifact within the Divine Ruin. But either way, where is it? Artifacts. So he has not the head start. He has these charging jump fists for us. Again, it's not gonna matter too much because we're not gonna, unless I destroy the shit out of this dungeon in like 10 minutes. But odds are we won't even get it as a roar. I just want to show it off. He says he puts these things on a table. Clunk, clunk. They're these like a pair of oversized runic stone gauntlets, originally found in a divine ruin near Scorche. Why did I choose these horrible to pronounce names? Oh, I'm dying. I'm so tired. By its war chieftain Ataraxia. Some people call it Roxy. They don't live long. These gauntlets led her to victory in many battles. Ataraxia's need for versatility and challenge caused her to eventually retire these gauntlets and offer them as a prize in the Break many years ago. And the Break is just an annual strength contest or fighting contest she holds within Scorche each year. Yeah. And to activate the gauntlets, the user presses runes found near their fingers within the gauntlet. The longer they press down these runes, the stronger the effect. When activated, the gauntlets launch forward toward a target up to a short distance away. The gauntlets fly at a high speed, pulling the user along as they slam into their target, dealing 12 damage. The user may also choose to hold down the activation runes, charging the gauntlets and waiting until the next turn to release it. The gauntlets deal 6 extra damage for each turn spent charging this way. Action. So, pretty obvious where I got this one too. I don't think anyone mentioned where I got the Slugger Saint from. They're both from the same place, same game. Terrible RPG. They Merc from Orkborg. That's funny. Orkborg would be cool though. Or Orkborg, like what'd you call it? Like orcs from Warhammer. It's just Merkborg, but about orcs. I do need to read Warhammer Allure someday. It seems so cool. But yeah, he offers those as a reward to us. Does this guy have a name? What's his name? That's the GM emulator. Yo, GM emulator. What's this dude's name? I rolled 3 times. Where did I find it? Oh, wait, NPC. What's this dude's name? His name is The Bull. I don't care. I'm going with his name is The Bull. The Bull pointed out a labyrinth to us. That's just too good. I gotta include that. The Bull. But yeah, he offers us these charging jump fists to go retrieve that divine ink for him. Divine ink in ruin is gold. That's what he wants, right? Don't forget your string. What string? Is that a Warhammer reference? But either way, I think we're good to go, right? So, will we ask him anything else? Has he... Alright, this is a good one. Oh! That's a story, right? The Bull and the Labyrinth. I just know they're correlated somehow. Yeah. This is definitely going to be interesting. Yeah, there you go. I'm so bad at knowing references. But yeah. We will go ahead and ask him, does he know what inhabits, like what's in the ruin? Like, it's divine ruins are known to house lost angels. It's people who spelunk, like they actively go out and look for these ruins just to, do what this guy wants us to do. And generally speaking, it's usually lost angels. But it might be something different. So let's ask him, is there anything special guarding the ink, like, or are we just dealing with the normal lost angel? So is there anything special would be the question we're asking the GM deck here. And I feel like there's a high chance of yes. This was unearthed through a fissure in the ground. People have not gotten far in it. And yeah, divine ink to make your own spells sounds pretty powerful. So odds are there is a strong boss there. Let's find out. We rolled 3 times. And thank you again, TFK, for pointing that out. The Greek Minotaur story, Perseus, whatnot. I knew it was an old story in that vein-ish. But again, I'm the least read. Like, well read, I'm the opposite of that. But yes, there is something, the GM tells us there, the guy tells us there is something crazy in the what you call it. Do you know specifics of it? We ask him. Do you know anything? Highly unlikely he knows anything specific about it. So let's roll 3 times. 1, 2, 3. What? Yes! Exclamation point. Not only does he know what it is, he tells us in detail what it is. And we're going to go ahead and generate a monster. Maybe use... I don't think I have a strong enough monster in my beast here to be like a boss. Actually, I definitely do, but it might be too strong. One second. Let me use the document I was supposed to be used. Bestiary. Did I misspell it? Best. Did I not include it in this document? I'm a fucking clown, apparently. So let's go ahead and... Where's my creature generator? I know I included that one. Or maybe I didn't. Holy shit, I didn't. I'm gonna have to open another document. Or actually, we'll go ahead and open our other GM assistant, the Weird. And we'll go ahead and generate something from here using this. Let's go down all the way to the glossary here. And it's going to load. And let's see what list we can roll off to generate like a weird monster. And we'll just stat it out and whatever. Where are my encounters? Here we go. We'll say that... No, that's not exactly what we're looking for. Here we go. People or creatures. We're mentors, we're mounts, we're mutations, we're PC family, we're pets. Let's go with weird legends. We'll go with Gonzo. Roll D100 just because I love the Gonzo one, and it starts down here. So, all right, D100, and let's see what weird legend. We'll just generate something from this. 37. Spell known as the Obscene Utterance can kill any being. However, those who complete the arduous research and task to learn to cast the spell discover that it sounds exactly like their own name. And hearing their own name from anyone else causes them pain and horrific wounds. Huh. That is an interesting one. So essentially what we can, we have a guy, we have a weakness for the guy, and we have a spell that he knows. I mean, it hurts him to use his own name, right? So it must hurt him a great deal if they're mentioning it this way, right? So I would say this is some kind of lich, not lich, maybe a lich, some kind of high, we can say chaos slinger, some kind of wizard, whatever, right? They hunkered down within the ruin, and again, he said yes, exclamation point. He knows a great deal about what the GM told us, yes, exclamation point. So we're learning a great deal about our goal here. What you call it? So, we know he's a wizard, knows a death magic spell, fun. And when he uses the spell, it hurts himself. And we can assign a level to him with the GM emulator. Oh, that's actually a good one, Undead Fae. But let's find out what level it is. We definitely want like 5 or higher. Maybe, yeah, we'll just roll until it's 5 or higher. 6, perfect. Are there Fae in this world? Not specifically, but it would make sense. I haven't written anything about Fae, but this is, like, again, a dark fantasy world, so they could exist for sure. I could even see them being, again, like an undead, like, what you call it, maybe something from hell or something that, again, they're tricksters. It has nothing to do with the divine, so it's the opposite. They're tricksters. I don't know. But either way, what you call it, I kind of lost my place now. Oh, he's level 6. Let me write this down. He tells us, yeah, it's a crazy wizard or some kind of warlock or something. Hold the bull is very crazy. He's just throwing words at us. He says the guy is pretty tough, so we know he's level 6. One second, is this shit sideways? All right, level 6. He tells us he also he knows how to kill anybody just by talking. It's crazy. I've never heard of anything like that, but a good buddy of mine came back and he lost his adventuring, his partner just like that, just by talking. It was nothing like I've ever heard of. And that guy, the guy who told me the story, he looked scared. All right, so he knows power word death, basically. I'm talking about PW death. But using it hurts. So we could potentially say that when he says his own name, kind of, maybe he like loses like a finger or something, like his body decomposes. Like it has to be pretty extreme. So when we get to him, he might like be missing an arm or something. Like that's actually a pretty cool image. You know, he's obviously in a position where he wants to be using it, but it hurts him pretty bad. So he's missing an arm, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's going good, Jesus. Welcome, welcome. Not gonna lie, probably just gonna do a. Oh, excuse me. I can give you a brief summary of where we are, but we're gonna dive into a dungeon soon. Our random story was there was an underground subterranean labyrinth that was revealed, what you call it, through cracks in the land, and it's near Gale Shear, which is the what is it, the secluded ice place, because always there's a secluded ice place. They don't take kindly to visitors, blah blah blah. So we're about to make our way there. We're playing as the Slugger Saint. We are diligent and patient. We don't trust anyone. But this counterfeit scroll maker, those artifacts he offered us were just way too tempting to not trust what he's saying. Yeah, we're good at navigation, bad at deception, very bad at deception, because we're also bad at all social interaction, so we have a detriment there. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and make our way there. Start our trip there. So we'll just say Gale Shear is D4 days away. It's probably longer or whatever, but whatever. D4 days away. I got stuck. We'll say that's a 1 because there's a 1 on top. So it's actually only 1 day away. We're like we caught magical backwind draft whatever. We're huffing it real fast. But as we head out, there's actually some days. Excuse me. We have to do something as the GM, as our own GM, whatever. As the day begins, we need to take care of our chaos countdown roll. Did I not save this right? What the fuck is happening here? 1 second. I would be very upset if I did not save this shit right. I'm opening where I wrote my stuff, because this is starting to upset me. What? I hope I did not missave my files and fuck something up, because that would make me very sad. Dang, what the hell? Sorry for this, guys. I'm very sorry for this. I'm just trying to find my own thing. What in the hell? I definitely included it, though. I put so much work into this. There's no way I did not include it. Am I just searching wrong? Yeah, Chaos Countdown is actually it's here. Oh, I probably did not search the right direction. I'm here sweating and shit. There we go. Oh my god, I'm sweating. Oh my god, I'm such a moron. So we'll say there is currently a year left in the world. So we'll roll as a GM difficulty 2 roll. So if we roll, if we do not succeed on this roll, if we fail this roll, the world's gonna change in some way. I should get rid of this. Cancel. I'm so fucking stupid. This is what happens when you fly solo and you're a moron. Hey, Juju Kai. Same. I'm so horrible. I am currently playing solo play of a TTRPG that I'm writing called the Entropic Isle, which is based off Cypher System, and we are currently checking to see if the world is going to change. It's based off, or excuse me, it's highly inspired by Merkborg and Gods of the Fall, if you know those things. And we rolled a natural 1, so the world is definitely changing right now. And what happens when the world changes again, very inspired by Merkborg. We have this little like scripture list here of how the world's going to change. And this is entirely up to the GM, what it means for the world and whatnot. So yeah, and that's the same thing like Merkborg. It is a D66 to see what piece of scripture comes true. 2, 4. Unearthing horrors unlike any seen before. Yo, that's too good with what our random story was. What the hell? I'm a little spooked. I'm a little spooked right now. I'm a little spooked. Oh boy, that's fun. So the world changes and something is unearthed. Um, we will say again because we're the GM. I guess we can ask the GM emulator. Like, let's see what happens when that thing is unearthed. What would be a good one for this? Or the sight, sound, smelling, feel, whatever should be good. I kind of like this one. The skittering of a many-legged thing. So we hear that as we're traveling. Our character Trivin, he hears it sounds far away, but it's loud, like something massive with many legs. There was an earth rumbling, probably an earthquake feeling under his feet before hearing the skittering, as probably akin to this land crack that produced the divine ruin. Yeah, it probably even at the same time, the divine ruin was revealed and also this thing was unearthed. Either way, the loud noise of something giant skittering of many legs you hear from very far away. I'm probably not going to play role in what's happening tonight because we're doing a quick solo play session, but yeah, our world has changed. There is something with skittering legs out there. Oh boy, that's interesting. Oh, that's fun. So yeah, now we traveled our one day to Galeshire, and we find ourselves. Actually, let's say we have to make a stealth roll because now we're entering the borders of Galeshire. The Chilled Barrens would be like the outer borders of where the city is. Like we come to the Chilled Barrens, which is the forest, the frozen forest. Then it's Galeshire, and then above there is the Skyceberg. But either way, as we make our way to the Chilled Barrens, probably roughly where the fissure is, we probably would need to make a stealth roll to ensure we're not seen. Because we do see, as we approach, an ice golem and two Galeshirian safety scouts accompanying it, kind of patrolling here, because with that fissure, they have to make sure everything's safe, right? They're not staying directly at the fissure because it's fucking gigantic. It's huge, like... It revealed the whole ruin 20 feet below, so like has to be giant, right? So they're patrolling around. They're patrolling. So we want to avoid them, right? Is our guy sneaky? No. But at least he's not trying to lie to anybody. So Trivin just hunkers down, and he's gonna try to sneak up to the edge of the fissure, like the whole crack there, to make sure that he is not seen. And we'll say that, I know this. Ice golems, and we'll ask the GM emulator this. Are how close attention are the ice golem and patrol paying attention? Like, are they super focused? That's a better question. Are these guards doing their job well? And we'll say it's an even chance. 1, 2, 3. No, they're not doing their job. I always do 3 rerolls, or that's how I do my randomization. So 1, 2, 3. No. I would say like these guys not super paying attention. Like it's almost end of their shift. They probably want to go back and trade off with the other guys. We'll just give this a difficulty of 4. I think that's pretty high, but I will go ahead and use effort on that. Where did my pen go? Here we go. So we do have a speed edge, so using effort drops our thing by 2 to 9. And I know what my maxes are. I'm not gonna worry about that. And it drops the difficulty down from a 4 to a 3. So now we just need to roll 9 or better to ensure we avoid this. 2! Wait, did you have a audience intrusion? The ancient Fantipede? has risen to collect more legs. We'll definitely say that's what it is. I'm actually not using headphones or speakers right now just because it's a luxury to be alone and not have to put that. I always get super sweaty and stuff, so like kind of enjoying it. But it would be neat because since I'm not playing any sounds, an intrusion would like could play something funny to be like, oh shit, intrusion. Like, not a bad idea. So yeah, we are seen. I don't have XP. I probably would have started with XP, but since I didn't mention it, we don't have it. Whatever. We're seen by the Ice Golem and 2 Gelshearers. This guy's gonna die before we even get down to the whatever, the ruin. But either way, I would say that since they were doing their job poorly, though, they're a good distance away from us, probably short or longer. We can say short. Ice golems are pretty slow. Wow! That's not a bad one, actually. That fucked me up. But either way, we'll say they're a short distance, maybe a little bit longer away, so it's going to take them a little bit of time to get to me. They've spotted me. They see me towards the edge there. We'll say that I'm speedy enough to have at least gotten to the edge before they spotted me. Even though the roll was low, I am Slugger Saint. I have a speed edge, whatnot. I'm good at navigation. We'll say that training helped. Whatever, man. I think it just makes sense that I'm fast enough to reach I'm now by this 20-foot drop to the Divine Ruins. That's probably how I would play it myself, is why I say that. So now it's up to me or us. Do we want to stay and face the Ice Golem and the 2 safety scouts? They are the safety scouts. Don't be fooled by their goofy names. They are highly trained, like not assassins, but like the Secret Service of the paranoid king who lives in the Skysburg, who has control of this domain. So yeah, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. I think Trivin would probably just fucking dive in. He's impatient. He's not super strong, and Ice Golem, like, he's heard stories of these Ice Golems. They are a fucking, like, they're I almost want to show the art, but the art I'm keeping secret. That's secret art. It's gonna be so cool when you see it in the book. Thank you, Brian, if you're watching for that. It's one of the artists, my artist friends. He drew the art for the Ice Golem, and it's gonna be so surprising and shocking to see that within the book. But yeah, we mashed the button and we try to get down the side of the cliff there as fast as we can. And I say, just for a little bit of flavoring, as we peek over the ledge, you know, it's jagged. It was just cracked earth, so there's plenty of footholds and handholds and whatnot, you know, just natural sharper edge. I might cut myself on rocks going down or something. But there's definitely, I can, you know, make my way down. Yeah. So let's go ahead and try that. As they start to approach, hey, stop there! Trivin's like, nah, and he jumps. But again, he jumps. He's like, he's a Slugger Saint. So he jumps. It looks like he's just jumping like head first or whatever, but he actually like spins midair and grabs handholds like maybe 5 feet down. So he's like already partially way down. Like, his hands are like steel basically, so he's not gonna hurt himself just doing that little maneuver there. So yeah, he grabs on. He starts like so swiftly trying to like pegboard his way down. And as he looks below, he sees the divine marble brickwork. Marble brick, is that a thing? But marble work of the chunk of divine ruin he sees here, and it's huge compared to what you normally see above ground. Like normally, like the surface is not littered with them. They exist outside, you know, on the surface, but not super common. The digger you dig into the earth, the more likely you are to find more of them and bigger of them. And this is one of a size he has never seen before. Like, it again looks like a labyrinth. That's actually a good word for it. This Divine Ruins is actually a labyrinth. It's long. It has winding corridors. It has what looks like dead ends in some places. Like yeah, it's definitely seems daunting. But he's making his way down there because that's better. That looks better than dealing with what's up there, the Ice Golem and the what you call it, the Galshirian safety scouts. So he's gonna make his way down. We'll call this difficulty. We can actually say, let the GM apprentice decide this. It's probably a fucking mistake. We'll let him decide this. Oh, actually no. We can roll this. I don't think it'd be as hard as a 6. Probably hardest would be a 4. Easiest obviously would be a 1. So we're just gonna let D4 decide the difficulty of this one. Like, oh, we'll let the GM roll a D4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, because why not, GM? Why not make it the hardest it could be for us? So we go to climb down. It is a difficulty 4 speed task to attempt this little like pegboard like maneuver to like climb down, rock climb down. This could potentially also be a might task, but we're gonna use speed because we got that edge. And we're gonna use effort on this because we do not want to fall to our deaths or fall that however many feet left down the way. So we're gonna use 2 more speed, drop our thing down to 7. Remember, we're missing 4 now. And yeah, let's climb our way down there. It's difficulty 3 now. And come on, dice, if you give me another 2, I'm gonna cry. It's a 2. Yo, these dice are rigged! What is this? Alright, so with this 2, Trivin gains an experience point as he slips and starts to fall to the divine rule, like and it's not like, because again these things are at least 1,000 years old, maybe even older. We don't know if before the fall there were these ruins or if they're like strictly from the pieces of heaven that fell to the earth. Like, we don't know. So either way, he's falling down to this jagged like little area. I should have used Roll20. Nah, I don't like Roll20. Oh, I don't. I do have other dice though, so I am gonna whip out more dice. But yeah, as he's falling, right? He's falling. He's gonna fall. He's gonna take a bunch of damage as he hits the the rocks below. We'll say he takes, from the GM's perspective, we'll let the GM emulator decide this, and it'll be D8 damage, whatever that is. No pluses, no minuses. That's how much damage my guy is taking. So this could be absolutely brutal, and as it should be, because you're falling fucking pretty damn far onto jagged, divine, maybe imbued rocks below, or excuse me, marble, sharp marble. Yeah, these ruins below were particularly like roughed up on the outside, as people were trying to get in and whatnot. So yeah, let's roll 3 times. Look at the D8. 1, 2, 3. No. It was 1, 1, and then 8. So my guy takes 8 might damage straight to the dome. He's impaired. Oh shit, that's funny. So yeah, as he hits the rocks, that shit hurts pretty fucking bad. He coughs up some blood, but he made it down there alive. And we'll ask the GM emulator this. Are the golem and scouts gonna chase me down here? They might have they likely have orders from the paranoid king to maintain a route and to let anyone who goes in there go in there, because he's heard the stories of that guy who lives in there who kills people. So he doesn't really care if anybody goes in, because they're probably not coming back out. They probably have orders to like make sure more people don't get in or something. They fucked up on that already, so they're probably not gonna chase us in. So let's ask the GM emulator. Are they gonna follow us into this hole? 1, 2, 3. No. Thank goodness. Thank you, Little Zen. And I'm looking forward to talking to you. Be sure to message me on Discord because I do want to talk about the archetype. Again, no rush at all because I know the campaign's not over yet, but I just love talking about this stuff. So well, let's get to chatting. And thank you again so much for that support. It's very, very appreciated. You have no idea. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, not off to a great start for our dude here, our dude Trivin. He's fallen. He's not being chased, at least. He's impaired. But with our 1 XP, I'm going to say, let's introduce a player intrusion. Let's help him out a little bit. He hits the ground, but being a Slugger Saint, he actually has a pretty strong tie to the divine, right? Like, so the energy that swirls in this place, he's kind of attuned to it a bit. Like, so it doesn't cushion his fall or anything per se. But with our 1 XP, and I, as a GM, I would rule this is reasonable. He gets up from his, he gets up quickly. They're trained to like not show pain for too long. So he's coughs up the blood for a moment, wipes it away quickly, and just kind of zens it back out. And with my 1 XP and player intrusion, I'm going to say he takes his 1 action recovery roll now, which again he could because it's an action. And then no one could have survived that fall. And then we'll also take our 10-minute recovery roll with my player intrusion. I'll say, hey, that's how I flavored it. I'm imbued to the energy of this area, and it kind of helps me get my win back, so to speak. So we'll roll 2d6 plus 2, and that's how much we get back. And we use our 2 recovery rolls. So let's roll that out. That's a fucking 1. Well, I'm done. I'm putting these black dice away. Black, white, and dice. Black dice with white text. Y'all have had a good enough run. But we're remembering that 1 and 1 is 2. And we're using a different set of dice for this. Because I'm sick of these low rolls. They're part of the fun, though, so I actually don't mind. It's just always fun switching up. We're whipping out the weird dice. 4, so that's not bad. So 4 and 1 is 5, plus our 2 is 7, so we recover 7 total. Not bad. We will recover 5 to our might, and 2 to our speed. That gives us back to 9 speed. Actually, I might do... Actually, yeah, let's change that. 1 more to might. That's 6. And then our thing goes up to 8 instead. Did I do that right? Yeah, I think I did that right. Whatever. If I didn't do it right, it's whatever. or anyone in the Star Wars film. Yep. It's funny because I've only seen like the original 3, I think. No. I don't know which Star Wars movies I've seen. Not enough. I can tell you that. So he falls, he gets up, he heals himself quite a bit, and he looks for a way, in. And I'd say with his training and navigation, that's pretty easy. And again, with his, he's trained, he has divine training, right? So he might even know, like, kind of how these things are normally built, because of his, knowledge of the old way, the knowledge that has been passed down from literally the angels. So yeah, he finds the entrance pretty easily, right? He gets in, dives in, right? And I'm not gonna lie, we've been doing this about an hour or so, so I'm probably gonna speed it up a little bit here as we, I'm just gonna show the premise of how I like to roll through a dungeon based on the solitary defilement thing. But yeah, I am reaching a limit here. But yeah, let's continue because I'm excited to see if we die again or not. So, the way we do this, we enter the dungeon, right? I'm actually going to need 2 d20s for this. Let me get a second d20. And the way it works is, and this is a very rough TLDR on how it works within solitary defilement, is as you go from room to room, obviously we're going to generate this randomly, so we roll some dice. And depending on the size of the dungeon, or the labyrinth, or whatever, there's a difficulty set. And, with it being a cipher system, we would, set a difficulty level. We roll 2 d20s against that. If none of them are successful, there's a critical failure on going into the next room. Maybe you spring a trap, GM intrusion, whatever, right? If one of them succeeds, you enter a generic room, which is just filler room. We add some fluff or whatever. It's just extending how long or how lost or whatever we are in a dungeon. And then if both succeed, we find a main room. And the main room, again, you decide this with the dungeon length, how many main rooms there are. I believe Solitary Defilement uses 4 always, because they default to the Merkborg, like, adventure generator, like that 4. They give you 4, like, or excuse me, the dungeon generator, they give you like 4 important rooms, so to speak, for that dungeon, and they give you a bunch of other information. Honestly, in my personal games, I probably will use that generator because I love it. It's so good. But yeah, if you enter a important room or whatever, you just use one of those 4 rooms from that generator. But we'll use the GM emulator here and the weird to figure out what the important rooms are like. We'll probably just do 2 important rooms, 1 important room, and then the last important room holding the BBEG. The guy who's gonna kill us by saying his own name, or maybe he actually can't. Who knows? But yeah, let's go ahead and start exploring the dungeon. And these are divine runes as we enter. Like, the walls are very what you call it, smooth marble. There are divinely lit torches on the walls, like unending oil. They just are always on at a dim light. It's not overly bright or anything in here. It's like a warm glow of light, but it is not pitch black or anything dark in here. And yeah, as we proceed, we'll just say that this is a short dungeon, so it's only difficulty 1. But the way actually, let me change this black dice. Because we're doing a super modified dungeon. It's super short and it's only 2 main rooms. So let me get rid of this black dice though, because it kept rolling absolute god awful. Let me just get both the weird d20s. And yeah, divine runes are definitely have a very nice feeling to them. If you ignore the fact that just around any corner could be a lost angel or some kind of society of scum. What is it, grave robber person or something. You never know what you'll find down here. But either way, let's roll our dungeon thingy. What was that, 15 and 16? Boom, we find an important room. And the important room, we'll use the mythic event generator here. 1, 2, 3. Introduce a new NPC. Activity Opulence. Huh. We'll say that... Huh. We have a person here who seems to be of a noble background, opulence, right? Maybe it's even, it could be, let's just say this for funsies. It's one of many of the Paranoid King's offspring. Just opulence brings to mind that it's royalty, and he's like the only royalty in this area. So maybe it's like his son, and they're in here, and I'm just, again, because it's their son, a lot of this is like what you call it, just a lot of solo GMing is just making it up based off these prompts, and I enjoy this quite dearly. So yeah, well, we'll say because of its son, and it's probably a younger son doing something his dad doesn't want him to do. That's why he's within the ruins, and he looks lost. Like he doesn't know what's happening. Again, this is a large labyrinth, but for the sake of streamlining play, we're making it short, quote unquote. So yeah, this dude is lost in the dungeon. Legitimate will be a good one. It's kind of like, damn, I forget what the Merkborg class is, the one that's like Forsaken King or whatever, like Forsaken Noble. Like I'm picturing him like that. I'm blanking on what the name is, but I'm literally picturing him like that. Like not exiled, is it exiled? But like estranged from the throne, maybe. I don't think the type is actually like that with the Merkborg, but yeah, like it's not direct lineage, but he definitely still has like nice rings or whatever. Like, he definitely has that air of nobility about him. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, he's lost, and I would say, or I guess Trivin would say, "Hark, what are you doing in here? This is not a safe place for anyone aside from someone like myself, those tuned to the old ways." The guy jumps back. Huh? I didn't know someone was there. Like, he's like stumbling over his words. You gotta learn to be a little more loud when you approach someone, especially from behind. Whew, I need a second. You know, he takes a second, and basically they go back and forth introducing each other, and he finds out that he's, you know, the king's illegitimate son, or excuse me, the paranoid king's illegitimate son. And Trivin offers, "Hey, do you want me to lead you out of here? Do you want to join me on the way in? There is a guy who kills people in here. Are you aware of that?" This kid probably wasn't. So he says, "Oh goodness, no. Oh, are you saying there's a necromancer in here, or a, you know, warlock or whatever?" And yeah, and so Trivin says, "It's the honest truth. I learned from a trusted companion." He says, kind of with almost air quotes, when he's talking about his counterfeit, the bull, counterfeit scroll maker buddy, the bull, or but not buddy, informant, whatever you want to call him. But he says, "So what would you?" Trivin says to him, "What would you like to do?" And we'll say, how can we do an or here? Well, no. So I think it'd be like this. We would ask him, "Do you want to proceed with us? Like, continue along the dungeon, right? You're here obviously for a reason. I don't know what you're seeking, but perhaps we can be of assistance to each other." I think it would be, personally, I think it would be either a low chance or an even chance of yes for this. Most likely low, especially after hearing there's someone who could just speak death. He probably doesn't want to stick around. But let's ask the GM apprentice. 1, 2, 3. No, doesn't want to stick around. It wasn't exclamation point no, and it wasn't no plus event. So no, he's just not sticking around. He says, no. I need to make it my way back up there, and I already hurt my hand coming down here, and and mother's going to be so worried, and she has to go to the Gelshirian courts tomorrow to get some tests straightened out about my lineage. I don't. I just wanted to potentially, maybe he would have came here knowing there was, you know, the paranoid king would have shown his face here knowing one of his children were here, but it's not worth it. He fucking books it. He leaves. He says, "Thank you." What is it? Trivin says, "And to make your way out, you know, go this way, make a left, go that way, make a right, whatever," right? He makes his way out easily with Trivin's very specific directions. You know, climbs out. So we proceed. We proceed to the next room here, and we know the next room holds the guy, right? Like, we know it holds this gentleman who's gonna try to kill us. Kill us dead with power word death. But, and I would say there's a high chance of yes here, right? Is he hurt to the point that if he uses power word death again, it's gonna kill him? Like, he'll not want to use it again because he's on the verge of death himself. I think it's either even chance of that or a high chance of that. Probably high. So let's go with high. 1, 2, 3. So he is near death. He is. So his next cast of power word death will take him out. So of course he's gonna have something else, right? So he has 2 other abilities. He has one from the Chaos Magic list, and then he has also one from the Weird. So his Chaos Magic ability is 3-4. I forget how I labeled it. I think it's 3-4. Evis. Oh, I need to change the name of this one. You step into shadows or behind cover, and everyone who is serving you completely loses track of you. Although you're not invisible, you can't be seen until you reveal your... So he can turn invisible. I'm not going to write that down. We just know he can turn invisible. Fuck. That's crazy. Not turn invisible, but like, where'd you go? And then let's check out the weird for just... I like using the weird. Let's see what other kind of magic abilities he has. A list about magic. Here we go. We just have weird spells. Weird side effects, weird drawbacks, weird spells. Here we go. We will use, again, the Gonzo, because that's the one I like the most. We will go with, where is it? D100. 51. And he also knows that you can obscure himself from vision, and he can also turns target into a fleshy cube. If I had a zoom in camera, I would do it. Like, what? he can obscure himself. He can turn you into a fleshy cube. So he turns you into one of those things from fucking Plane Breaker. I forget what they're called, and I had an adventure with them in it. But the people from the Cube Planet, like, he basically can turn you into that. We'll say, though, that you can still act normally as a cube. Maybe it'll take you a few rounds to, like, get accustomed to being a weird fucking flesh cube. So he can turn you into a flesh cube. He can turn invisible or obscure himself. And also, I'll just die. He could kill you just by saying his own name, but it's also gonna kill him. So he'll probably only use it if he's about to die anyway. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's kind of crazy. All right, so right off the bat, we enter the middle. You know, the last room. We're obviously we'll just speed ahead and say we're in the room with this guy, right? But we don't see anything. There's nothing there. We see that there's that inkwell, the guy with like a big ass, like, we enter it again like another one of those marble like rooms with torches, warm light, a very warm, cozy feeling, like very comfortable, like 72, like 74, like whatever in that range degrees Fahrenheit freedom units, like very comfortable. And there's an inkwell there, but there's no sign of anybody else. Like, there's nothing. But secretly, we, the GMs, know there is a guy hiding somewhere using his evanescence. So, question is, does our guy notice that? Does he notice there's something here? I would say we just roll for that. Well, I need more water. That'll be an intellect roll. I'm looking at my sheet down there. Definitely not speed defense. Definitely not. Yeah, I think this would just be a regular ass int roll. Not gonna use effort because I don't have much int to begin with, so we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna roll it out and see if our guy notices. I will say that again, this necromancer was level 6, right? Yeah, so we're gonna say that to notice him during this is gonna be a level 6 thing. Again, I like to be brutal with my things. If you were a player entering this dungeon that I had set up randomly myself, you would be rolling a difficulty 6 roll to see what the hell happens. And we rolled a 12. 12 definitely not enough. So you just walk. He walks in. He doesn't notice anything. He starts walking up to the. He's like, oh, I guess the warlock must be gone. Right? Like this. Weird rumor, I guess. I don't know why he gave me such specific details if the dude wasn't even just gonna be here. So Trivin goes into his, like, you know, adventurer's sack or whatever. It takes out an empty jar and he starts to fill. No, he takes out a pretty sizable jar, like moo milk sized jar. starts to fill it with this divining, getting some on his fingers. It tickles his fingers, right? It has this, like, again, like the room, like, it's like a very warm, like, hot spring feeling, like 80, 90 degrees, whatever that, like, nice hot water feeling is. I'm bad at temperatures, but, like, it feels like, again, this is ink, right? But it's not staining his fingers. When he goes and lifts it out, it's not staining his fingers at all. It's kind of dripping back into the pool, but it does stay contained within the jar he closes, right? He closes it, and he gets actually to do all this, right? And what you call it? He closes it, and he like looks at it in the jar. He swirls it around, and as he looks at it closer, he sees again it's a black ink. But as he examines it more closely, there's like light flecks of gold, and again that it kind of sparkles as it like shimmers in the room's light as it swirls in the jar as he spins it around. And as he's doing that, he feels like an energy on him as our bad guy here starts to cast his spell of fleshy cube on our guy. Because he's definitely getting a surprise round, because my guy didn't notice. He was there invisible. It just makes sense. And we'll say, though, that due to the nature of the spell, it's kind of hard for him to actually affect someone with it. So even though he's level 6, it's only difficulty 4 intellect defense to avoid being turned into a fleshy cube. That's kind of how I'll give myself a little, like, what you call it. I would do the same thing with a group, like a real group. Like, hey, that's a kind of crazy spell. Probably pretty easy to dodge it. So if you get hit by it, you kind of, it's on you. So we'll go ahead. We're going to roll that out. And this is actually an intellect defense roll, because he's attacking your, like, essence, I guess. Like, he's trying to affect your physical form. So to resist that, it would be like having, like, resisting him getting into your mind to do that. I don't have anything for intellect defense. Yeah, let's just roll it out. We'll just roll this out, see if we become a cube. Come on. I want to be a cube. No, I rolled a 10. I'm a cube. So Trivin, as he's sitting there, or standing there with his back, you know, obviously, because he doesn't know anybody's there, he feels that energy in his mind, and then suddenly the jar drops from his hand, hits the ground and shatters, spilling ink. As his hand just kind of disappears, kind of rolls into himself. And it's not painful. I'm not going to take any damage from this, but it takes a few moments only. Like, it's startling fast after that initial, like, then it's like, and suddenly you're a cube. Suddenly Trivin is a cube. And he still has his clothes on, his like gear is still on, like he's just like those cube people from Planebreaker, except, you know, what you call it. This is quite disorientating. It's quite alarming. What you call it. So for the rest of this encounter, or, you know, this fight, this our dude Trivin's, all of his tasks are going to be hindered one step going forward. It's not looking good for this guy as he tries to get used to his body. Or he could spend an action to overcome that disorientation, which would just be a similar intellect roll, like intellect defense 4 roll, to overcome it immediately. And he'll probably try to do that on the first turn. But either way, Warlock pops out. Meat of cube! Or cube of meat. I said that's so stupid. But either way, and transfers Trivin, and Trivin turns around. My God! And we'll start combat here. Vile Warlock. You only roll d6s. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's actually a fun side effect if we add 3, because I've actually thought about this. 3d6s is kind of like a 20, but then I would always succeed on 1s, but I can never beat, what is it? Roll a natural 20 or a natural 19. But either way, we'll go ahead and begin combat, and he's difficulty 4, or excuse me, 6, so we gotta roll 18 or better to go before him. We did not. So he goes first again. And what kind of weapon would this guy have? Do we have like fantasy weapons on here? On the weird? Because that would be fun. If not, I'll just generate him one. But I feel like there's probably a weird weapons. I feel like he would have a weird weapon. I just want to use this book more. It's such a cool book for fantasy list. Weird magic items. Roll D100, and his weapon is, again, we're going off the Gonzo. That's 60. Oh, excuse me, that's 94. He has. Okay, this is not good for it. Necklace that allows you to talk to a large body of water. Forget that. We're just gonna randomly generate him a just a regular ass weapon because he should have a regular ass weapon. So to do that, we rolled 3d6, so 4 1. Excuse me, roll d666, 4 1, and we just need 1 6 after that. 4 1 1. So he has a medium melee. I believe the other one is slashing. So he has like a short. He has a walking stick that he takes the top off of, and it's actually a knife, and he fucking slashes that shit at me, trying to cut into my meaty flesh. Now that I'm so fucking confused about what the hell is going on, he tries to cut me. So I try to get out the way of my speed defense. Oh, actually, I get lucky here because I'm trained in speed defense. Counteracts the hindrance. So I'll just roll normally. We'll just do that. 3. I get sliced. And what you call it? I take 3 might damage. Should we write that down? Or should I take 4 might damage? My guy is not doing so hot. Yeah, this is not great for him. But being on his turn, yeah, I'm basically Super Meat Boy essentially. I gotta learn how to use like we can even say that. Actually, let's say that's actually a better one. Because we don't have to worry about like in Planebreaker, the cube people have like a psychic force they use to hold things and stuff. But we'll just say we're Meat Boy. Like we have like a tiny little stub arm and tiny little stub legs. I think that's funnier. So I'm actually Super Meat Boy now. But he slashes some of my meat off. And I'm still getting used to this form, so it's definitely very disorientating. But on my turn, on Trivin's turn, he gets sliced. Where the hell were you at? He tries to, calm his breathing. You'll get that divine. What have you done to me? He's trying to get a good look at his arms. And the guy, the warlock is just like giggling like a madman, like he doesn't even know where the fuck he is. Like, like he looks deranged. Like his hair is all fucked up. He has a big ass nose. He looks like the warlock or the wizard from Gravity Falls, like the Dungeons and More Dungeons episode. The guy, like the bad guy from that. He looks like that guy, like just a unhinged wizard. Yeah. So, and he's missing an arm for sure. Like missing an arm, you can see, yeah, remember his ability hurts him. So he's probably missing an ear, like a nose. Like this shit has driven him mad doing this, which is why he's so bonkers. But seeing that this guy's off his shit, right? Trivin thinks of a brilliant plan. He puts his target into a daydream. Says, shh. Calm your mind. Yeah, this dude is he's lost it, right? And what Trivin is trying to do, Trivin is trying to like take him to a time when things were better for him. Like, obviously something happened, to lead him down this ruinous path. So we want to take him to a time before that happened, before he lost his marbles, before maybe he even learned his power word, his curse. You know, yeah, so we attempt to daydream him. That's 4 intellect, or excuse me, that's 4 points, period. The way it works in Entropic Isle is you can spend points from whatever pools you want. I'm going to spend it from speed because I have speed edge, so it drops my cost to 3. And the reasoning behind that is chaos magic in this world, or magic in general, draws from a person's entire essence. Like the entirety of it. All right, yeah. So we take him back to we take him back to what is it? Gathral, Gathering Hall Eve, where he was snubbed, in Secret Santa. Yeah, the person he had just gave him absolute crap. It was like, just a pinky finger, a really nice pinky finger bone with a ring, like a severed pinky ring, like a pinky finger with a ring on it, severed. But our wizard guy here was really hoping for a thumb. Like, he wanted a thumb with a ring on it so bad that I would have completed his collection. So yeah, that drove him for revenge. So yeah, we spent our 3 points. Let me erase that here. We'll go down to 5. Sorry for the horrible. And we attempt to throw him into the daydream. And I'll go back and read the ability if we're actually successful. Because he's so deranged and off his shit, I'm going to say doing something like this is 2 steps easier to do because his mind is so already kind of broken. But at the same time, we're still hindered because we have an attempt to break it. We immediately tried to, like, fix him, so to speak, the wizard, instead of fixing ourselves. So that difficulty 4 goes up to difficulty 5, so we need 15 better, 15 or better roll to actually affect this guy. And I'm going to use effort for sure, dropping my intellect down 3 points. I'm not going to worry about my edge on speed there. We're going to use intellect edge just to make it an even 5-5. Or excuse me, intellect effort. And now it's actually back down to difficulty 4, so 12 or better. Come on, let's throw him in a daydream. No, that's a 10. No. He shrugs it off. He sees you trying to, like, you put your hand in his face and, like, around is like, calm, be calm. And he fucking reaches out and bites your hand afterwards. Like, the divine energy you're trying to, like, sprinkle on his mind or whatever, it kind of, like, bounces off or is, like, goes over his head. And he responds, bites the shit out of your hand. Just literally, like, tries to take a chunk off. And he's rather brutal with it. But, again, difficulty 6. He's attacking a way he normally wouldn't. We'll call this difficulty 5. But it goes back up to 6 because we're hindered. So just 18, and you're getting your hands right in his face, so it'd be pretty fucking hard to avoid getting it bit. I'm using the other D20. He bites the shit out of he bites our thumb off. He's like, I'm getting a thumb one way or the other. And just rips your thumb clean off, Trivin's thumb. And we take 4 points of damage. Our might is now 0. Our speed is now 3. This is not looking good, bro. He spits the thumb back out into his hand, into his one open hand. He's like, I told him I was gonna get me a thumb, and he puts it in his pocket. Oh boy, that took a turn. It goes back. That was his whole action. And now it goes back to our Slugger Saint, and our Slugger Saint is gonna try to protect himself as dearly as he can by switching into the divine protection stance, and that costs 3 points, but only 2 points because I have that edge there, so I drop my thing down to 1. But for the next 3 rounds, I have +5 armor. I roll a d20 to see if I actually spend the points, because if I roll a 20, I don't. That is not a 20. That is a 9. So no, I still spend the points and it's still an action. So I turn on my armor. You see a divine energy start to like coalesce around my skin very tightly, as it's like providing almost like a barrier between whatever wants to harm me and myself. And then that's a whole action. But going forward, I can't dual wield, so I can only strike once. And every time I hit something, I heal myself for 2 points, divided how I see fit. That's the persistent effect of divine protection. But yeah, now it goes back to the wizard guy, and he's losing his shit still. He's like, I got my time, I'm out of here. And he uses evances again to turn invisible or whatever. He's not in any danger of dying, so he has no reason to use power word. But he uses his action to like shroud himself again. You'll never find me. Woo-hoo! And he like poof, he's gone again. It's so fucking goofy. What's wrong with me? I see him poof away, and we'll ask the GM emulator this. Is the deranged wizard actually leaving because he's happy he got his thumb? We'll say it's an even chance, yes or no. He might stick around to fuck with you. He might leave. We don't know. He's a fucking wild card. So let's go and roll this 3 times. So did he leave is the question. No, he didn't leave. So he's just here, just he disappears. And you stop hearing the laughter, or Trivin stops hearing the laughter. Yeah, that's just my go-to for unhinged characters. And Trivin's just left stunned at what, because this all happened in like, again, this was 2 rounds of action basically. So I was like, this happened all in 10 seconds or so. He went to go pick up the ink. Suddenly he was a meat cube. He turns around. There's a guy there. He tries to calm him down. The guy bites, after slashing him, the guy bites the shit out of him. Like, Trivin's all sorts of fucked up right now. And I would say that seeing him go away, Trivin, again, distrustful, would definitely check again to see if this guy is still looking around. And we'll say due to his familiarity with what's going on, it's a little easier to spot him. So we'll say it's a difficulty 4 task to spot where he is now. He actually succeeds. We actually got a success for once. So he says, oh, buddy, I see you right there. No, Trivin's just, that was out of character. Trivin collects himself. He channels his divine energy, and even though he doesn't have a system, is gone. He's again, that when he used divine protection, it kind of sealed his wound a bit too, so it's stopping his blood. He's not gonna bleed out or nothing, and he's using his, like, he doesn't even have his eyes open. He's using like divine radar, almost sonar, to detect where the guy is, and he detects him. I would say I would probably say is like a move action, not your whole action, and then our action would probably be to try to punch him. Yeah, let's at least give us a punch, at least one swing at the dude. And we'll still say it's difficulty, what you call it? We'll call this actually difficulty 4 because he was invisible. And we'll say that Trivin didn't like say anything when he spotted him. He's like using his sonar, his divine sonar, and does like he feels him and just swiftly throws out a punch. Difficulty 4, and he misses. He didn't open his eyes for the swing. He forgot his divine sonar does not work for landing the actual strike. You know, he's all sorts of disoriented at the moment, so he didn't think to open his eyes, and he whiffs wide. And the wizard, now seeing that his guise is being seen through, like his essence, I gotta rename that. I think it's a high chance that he would just do it again and leave. So let's ask. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, he does that. So he poof. It's like, oh, you can see me? And he runs away. Again, Trivin would not be, he'd still be on, on alert. So he's still sonar. We don't have to roll for it because the guy's gone, but he has fled. Hopefully he can figure the way out. And now he goes back to himself, like his the protection wears off, like it's not, his skin is no longer glowing, he's starting to bleed again. He's, I have to take care of this. He reaches into his pouch here and he whips out some bandages and he starts to wrap up his hand, trying to heal himself for, well, we'll say 3 points of damage. Like he's doing a manual healing task. So difficulty 3. This is permanent. He is permanently a me cube right now. We're gonna have to figure out a way. Again, in game, I would say, again, this is very Merkborg-y, Troika-y. You're a meat cube until you figure out a story way to fix it. But this is a one-shot solo session, so we're probably not gonna get to that. So yeah, roll D20 against difficulty 3, 9 to see if I heal 3 points. But either way, the bandage does stop the bleeding. Is that a natural 20 or is that a 1? I can't tell what you are. Okay, you are 20. The other one says oops. So that is definitely a 20. What is this supposed to be? Oh, W? Or weird? Probably. But either way, that's a 20. Woo! So we do heal our 3 points. And as a major effect, I would say, I would allow, and this is me as a GM too, you can use your 1 hour recovery roll now as well. So you'll heal 3, and then you also heal the D6 plus 1, and you use your recovery roll. So 3 plus 1 is 4, so we heal 7 total. Pretty good. So we'll put 3 in here to go to 4, and then we'll put 4 in here to go to 4. Jesus Christ, barely survived that. So yeah, he's wrapping his bandage, and he actually is able to imbue, because he's in a divine ruin, he's able to like kind of coalesce the divine energy he's finding here into his bandage, and it stops his bleeding, and he actually heals up a little bit. He's no longer impaired and all that. Yeah. Actually, yeah, no. We go back to the jar, it's broken on the floor there. My goodness, he just whips out another one. It's not really hard to have. This is slightly smaller though. He was hoping to bring back more. But he was gonna fill up all these jars. He brings out like 2 more. They're slightly smaller. So he's bringing home 3 jars. Fills it up. But was as a GM emulator, is there any negative side effect to when that ink touched my hand? Like, again, this is some time has passed, probably a minute or so, because all this shit happened so fast before. So maybe 2 or 3 minutes have passed. I would say there's a high chance of something to have happened when I touched the ink. Yes. I got burned. Or I'm starting to burn. So yeah, we'll just, yes, fire. There you go. So after a few minutes, the hand, or the hand like stuck in there to retrieve the ink, starts to feel tingly, like really tingly, and he takes a D4 damage, 2, 3, takes 2 points of burning damage as he's like, oh, what the fuck, like I need to get this, I thought it was dripping off of me, and he like goes in his bag and gets some water or something, and rinses his hand off. Oh shit, my god. Puts the jars away. I can't believe this. I just need to get out of here, man. What? That guy didn't even try to kill me. What? He just turned me into a cube. Calm down, Trivin. The order, the old, the order of the old way will know what to do to get us back. Oh, that's also a good one. That's a good one. I like that idea actually. But yeah, he grabs his jars. He takes that damage. He starts making his way out of the what you call it there, the ruin, the divine labyrinth. Makes his way out. And what you call it? Basically to call it here, you know, he climbs. We'll do a roll. We want to see if he survives there, getting there, right? So we're gonna truncate all this stuff if he survives getting back. So he gets out of the divine ruin. Now he has to climb back out. This is pretty quick. I don't have anything for climbing or anything of that nature. Do have navigation, but we'll call this difficulty 4 to climb the wall back up. That could be speed or might. We will use speed. Use effort. Drop it down to 2. I rolled a 9. So yep, that's actually perfect. Good thing we used effort, because using effort dropped it down to a 3. To 9. Oh shit, I heard my dog at my door. Hi TP. You coming in? Thought I heard him. But yeah, we climbed the way out. We start making our way back to Gathral. Oh, that's a good point. I did the thumb binding off more of like a flavor type thing, but it would make it harder for him to climb. Yeah, so we actually say he fails, actually. It was 4. Gets harder because he's missing a thumb to 5. Drops back down to a 4 instead. I rolled a 9. He slips and falls. And what was the damage we took before? D8. I would say he probably wasn't too high up when he fell, so we could probably do a D6 damage. 1. He takes 1 point. Not too bad, not too bad. He survives. He takes 1 might. As he tries to go back up again. And this time, does everybody need a help? I'm just get stuck here. Nah, just try it again. Super Meatball doesn't take fall damage. Oh, actually, that's a good point. I mean, his body's still gonna get hurt though. No, he's not literally Meat Boy. We'll give him one more try to climb this. He doesn't have any items because he's a Slugger Saint. They don't start with anything. So this is sort of where the situation gets rough for him. He's very good in combat, but not so good outside. 15. All right, that's success. That's a success. Without effort or anything, 15 is a success. So he climbs out. He gets out. And now, is he spotted by the Golem Patrol again? If he's spotted by the Golem Patrol, we're just going to say he dies. He just dies. Or, you know, he'll have a chance to run, maybe. But yeah, he's trying to be stealthy. He doesn't have any stealth stuff. He's not going to use, he can't use any speed. He's not going to drop himself to 0, no way. So he's going to roll this straight out. Well, they were distracted before. They're more on alert now. We'll call this difficulty, I think it was 3 before. We'll call this 4 now. So 12 or better. And you are not seen, Trivin. 2! He is seen pretty damn hard. So you are trying to run past them, the Ice Golem and the, the 2, there's actually only 1 safety scout now. One of them is out of, you know, at a couple minutes earlier or whatever, the paranoid king's son comes running out, and one of the scouts are escorting him back to base, you know, back to the pyramid. Just then, they're distracted by something much worse. That's pretty good. They are distracted by, what was it that I've already forgotten how Jesus worded it. What was the thing? The large scuttering. I'm scrolling up to see how he worded it. Fuck. There it is. centifantipede. And yeah, so they are they're a centifantipede. So they, as they see me, as I'm noticing them notice me, a large foot comes down. Boom. And another large foot. Boom. And then you start to see a row of legs as boom, and your feet are shaking, and a large trunk from almost out of the sky. Like, this thing is massive. Like, there's cloud coverage, and this thing is in the clouds. A large, like, appendage comes down, and just not sort of being weird. Not to be weird. It is a elephant trunk, like a giant just trunk. Scoops up the golem and the sentry, the scout. Because I think also with the intrusion, he said it's looking for more legs. And as he brings, the what is it? The tusk, the trunk raises up and brings it over the clouds. You start to hear like a crunching, yelling, crunching, and then blood starts to pour from the sky, like in the spot where they were lifted up. And you don't hear the yelling anymore. And you fucking run because that thing was not looking at you. Thank you for that, audience intrusion. And he runs all the way back to fucking to Gatherall, where he meets up with the bull, panting, almost half dead, and hands over. He meets him at some tavern. The tavern's called the regenerate ancient. Not regenerate, but regenerate, like degenerate, regenerate ancient. We meet at the regenerate ancient, I'm bleeding and whatnot, and he offers to buy me a drink, and he gives me the gauntlets. I give him the ink, and if we were continuing to play solo, this as a campaign, I would mark the artifact down on my list and whatnot. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good session. This was much longer than I was expecting to play. But this is a lot of... I really enjoy solo play. It's very fun, especially with, thank you, Taf K, for interacting. It's a lot of fun. Oh shit, I forgot the cube! He says, you won't believe, Tavern, or Trivin says, you wouldn't believe what this warlock is capable of. We have a lot to talk about here. And yeah, the camera pans out as Trivin starts to tell his story to the bull over their drinks. And yeah, I love this sort of like... I've done this in a group too with my husband and my stepdaughter. And we played, but we played with the GM emulator. And it's always a lot of fun. Like, even in a group setting, like solo play, quote unquote, GM emulated play is still a lot. I enjoy it. It sparks so much creativity. I had none, as you can see, I had nothing planned other than to be a Slugger Saint when we started. I realized I made one other mistake, just sheepishly, as we round out the 2-hour mark. I didn't talk about cursed artifacts at all. I didn't have him find one. I didn't say what they do. None of that. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my notes here, and we're going to talk about it just to see what they do. Because I did tease it. I teased that we would talk about them. So I'm just going to read what they do and maybe one of them. Here we go. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I'm going up. I need to go down. Here we go. Cursed artifacts. Cursed artifacts are artifacts that have no depletion roll to use. Instead, they cost the wearer some sort of permanent cost. The permanent cost is returned to the wearer if/when the cursed artifact is taken off. Cursed artifacts take 10 minutes to attune to and to take off safely. Once attuned, the wearer immediately gains access to the cursed artifact's ability and pays the permanent cost associated with the artifact. This can cause you to have negative edge and or effort. When a character has negative edge, it increases the cost of everything associated with that stat by that number. When a character has negative edge, they must pay that many levels. Oh, that should be negative effort. Whoops. When a character has negative effort, they must pay that many levels of effort before being able to actually apply effort. Effort cannot be 0. When a character would drop to 0 effort, they drop to -1 instead. Same thing for going up. If you go up to 0, you go up to +1. Once safely taken off, the wearer loses access to the ability, but regains their lost cost. A cursed artifact may be taken off in haste with an action, but it is incredibly dangerous. When taking off a cursed artifact with an action, the wearer attempts a difficulty 6 intellect defense task. On failure, the wearer's mind and body are shocked by the sudden loss of magic. They take 6 points of might and intellect damage, both ignoring armor, and must roll on the chaotic calamity table. Wearers also suffer this consequence if their cursed artifact is destroyed while being worn or otherwise forcibly removed. So yeah, they're pretty cool. They do have a drawback and a negative that it could be a fun to play with as a GM, whether they get attacked and they get broken or they get ripped off or something. Definitely something fun to play with. But the premise here is that they provide enabler abilities, which are not present anywhere else within the book. There are a couple of them within the archetype stuff. But yeah, so for example, we have Saijin's Amulet of Ever Living, -2 to all stat pools. Even if one could get through Saijin's dual... this is lore fluff. Saijin's dual shields, they still could not fell him. Fighting against all odds, even death, Saijin was a near unbreakable wall. The source of this immense resilience was his divine amulet. Rumors say he plundered the divine ruins of the boat alone and came back with it. While worn, gained the ability Ever Living. When you would normally be dead, you instead fall unconscious for 1 round and then awaken. You immediately regain 1d6 plus 12 points to restore your stat pools. If you die again before you make your 10-hour recovery roll, you are truly dead. Enabler. So yeah, you get to live forever if you're careful. You can die once a day, essentially. Yeah, so they are quite good. Depending, and they have different costs. Like something with a more mild ability will have just one random edge, like Avi's Lucky Coin, or the Divine Golden Crystal is just -1 int edge, which gives you crystalline body. Then there's the Devil Tooth Necklace that gives you infused spirits, and that one I might change the cost. I feel like -2 to all stats, probably too much. Oh no, I made this good actually. So infused spirits is you accumulate souls as you kill things, and when you kill something, you heal for how many souls you've collected plus the one you just collected. So yeah, pretty damn strong over time if you don't die. Yeah, and I have stuff for enchanted equipment. Definitely a lot of cool stuff to be had with the I call it the special items or special equipment section. So ciphers, artifacts, cursed artifacts, and enchanted equipment. Yeah, I have a list of 20 effects here you can apply to weapons, armors, and shields, depending on what they are. They do different things. Yeah, definitely looking forward to playing this more, playing it in a group, playing with the people, having other people play it. And again, thank you so much, TAFK, for coming by and playing with me. Playing solo, play TTRPGs, that is, with me, interacting. Thank you, Jesus, Ketup, everyone else out there who joined to, take a peek at what was going on. It was definitely a lot of fun, and we didn't die this time. We actually made it to the end. We actually, thanks to the the audience intrusion, our biscuits were saved by an unspeakable horror as we fled back to Gathral. Thank you again for that, TFK. We had a happy ending this time around. Otherwise, I think we probably would have had death. But yes, thank you everyone for stopping by. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the Entropic Isle. There's about 10 days left, 9 days I think now. I haven't looked in a couple hours because I've been doing this. But yeah, we're approaching. We had 5.1k last I checked. We might be closer. But at 6k, I expand the entire book where we get 20 total archetypes, 20 total artifact ciphers, cursed artifacts, and also at least 2 more setting locations, maybe more. On top of maybe even that random dungeon generator that I was discussing. Might include that if I can figure out a nice way to parse it. But yeah, definitely exciting stuff. So again, thank you so much to everyone who has pledged so far. If you haven't pledged, check it out. Hopefully the stream or recording, if you're watching on YouTube, helped you see how fun it could be. And yeah, definitely quite excited to see where this campaign, or excuse me, the Backerkit campaign ends up in the long run. And again, we couldn't have reached what we've reached right now without all of y'all. So thank you guys so much for backing the project. I put a lot of heart and soul into this one, not gonna lie. But yeah, thank you again so much. I'm gonna do Anthony's spiel, or try to, off the top of my head. I don't have a list for it. So if you like us, you like what we do, join the Cypher Unlimited Discord. It's the biggest fan-run community for all things Monte Cook games. We have games being run all the time. People talking about games, all the books and whatnot. Definitely a wonderful community to join. So if you haven't already, be sure to do it. Discord's not your thing, join our Facebook group. Not as big as our Discord group, but there's definitely plenty of conversations being had there, as well as some funny memes and good discussions about like just TTRPGs and Cypher System and Monte games in general. So if Discord's not your thing, join our Facebook group. What'd you call it? Be sure to go over to our YouTube page and like, share, subscribe over there. Our YouTube page is constantly growing due to your support, and we really appreciate all the support we've gotten so far. But we can only reach even greater heights with your continued support. So yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to go subscribe over there. Maybe drop a follow or subscription here on Twitch. All of that support is quite appreciated. But everything on Twitch and YouTube will always be free. But if you choose to support us, you can go to our Ko-fi page and drop us a little donation. We use it for things like giveaways, for Discord, Discord Nitro boost, to make sure our server always has the highest quality voice channels. And if Ko-fi is not your thing, you can also buy some merch. We got a couple things, or a few things on there that have our logos on there, and look forward to Cypher Con 1.0 into the Cypherverse. Merch coming soon. We will have new stuff on there. Might even bring back the old design for a day or two, just to give people a chance to get the old design if they haven't. And I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, thank you all third-party Cypher creators. What is it? Do I have this still? No, I don't. Thank you everybody. Thank you Ketup. Thank you I'm exhausted. I'm tired. My tablet just went to sleep. I'm about to fall asleep here. I think I hit all the notes. Again, thank you guys so much for coming by, supporting, listening. This was a blast. Look forward to more solo play, not just of the Entropic Isle, of just Cypher System in general. It will probably be the Entropic Isle for a while, not gonna lie, but I kind of want to make this my thing, so to speak, within the Cypher Unlimited streaming space. I'll be the solo guy. Yes, Ketup, you were amazingly so much help, man. Thank you so much. Check out Ketup's stuff. Post your links again. I will definitely add your links down below in the YouTube video as well. Yeah, this has definitely been an adventure and a half. This whole project and journey. Thank you, everybody. I keep saying thank you, but truly thank you. I already did the spiel. I posted Entropic Isle. I'm doing a mental check there. I need to go rest or something. But yeah, as usual, I will be on Discord if you want to chat about things. We can chat about the Entropic Isle or just Cypher System as a whole on the Discord. And yeah, thank you again, Juju Kasi Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna call you Juju because it's easier. Thank you, Juju, for stopping by. It was a lot of fun. Definitely join the Discord if you haven't. If you don't really know what Cypher System is, you can learn a lot more about it there. Wonderful role-playing game system. Yeah. So yeah, as usual, from us at the CU, we will see you later. Peace.